somewhere along the line. This is Jimmy Pacifico 495.
So the other day, two YouTubers were having a little bit of a tizzy over a lift competition. And I made the mistake of making a comment. I was joking around and I kind of made a disparaging remark. And I was being playful, but it didn't come off that way. And it upset this one gentleman. And of course, he responded back with kind of a crappy comment. But something interesting came up. So this guy, as it turns out, he had looked up my entire powerlifting career, we'll say, and he mapped it out and basically said, he pointed out that like I only got stronger because I took a mountain of steroids. It's kind of creepy. Like this guy like looked up everything about me. He knew like when I started lifting, how many competitions I did natural, when I started using PEDs, and how my numbers shot up at a certain time. And I was like, dang, man, you really did dug into me. And the thing is, I've never even watched any of his videos. Like I've seen them pop up here or there. Like I don't know anything about this guy. I honestly, I don't care enough. I don't mean it like I don't care. I mean, like, I got more important things to do. Like, I've never looked up a lifter. I've never looked up anybody's history or their records. It's just, I don't care. You know, it's whatever. You know, you just tell me you do something, and I'm like, cool. But here's the thing. The reason I'm making this video is not because of any of those comments. Like, I get those all the time. But it is what it is. That's just the nature of YouTube. But I felt like I needed to make this video because he's spreading disinformation, purposely disingenuous information that I think can be harmful, especially to older lifters that are trying to get back into the sport or maybe are picking up a barbell for the first time in their life. So I felt like I really needed to come clean on everything I've ever used, and I needed to highlight that the way I've changed my programming is largely the reason why I'm having success now. I'm having kind of a renaissance at the age of, I'll be 48 in a couple months, and I'm having a resurgence. And I'm really kicking butt. My numbers are shooting up. So, first, I want to talk about one thing that everybody really ignores. And that is the insane amount of training I do. I train almost every single day. I am in the garage just busting my butt. I don't take days off. I should take days off. But on my deload days, I'm still doing something, whether it's like cardio boxing or running or doing, stretching routines or, like stuff like that, stuff of that nature. I never have a day where I'm not doing something. I have a weight in my hand almost every single day of the week. And now I'm not necessarily recommending that as something the average person should do. It's just me. I just love lifting. I love it. It's my 1 hour a day where nothing else matters. And I just can't not do it, if that makes sense. So I'm not suggesting you should train every single day. I'm not suggesting that you should be a psycho like me. I'm just saying that saying I just do steroids and get stronger is totally disingenuous, and it does not take into account the insane amount of work that I do. I have been really busting my ass since I came back from my hiatus. So now let's talk about my natural career. I started competing at the age of 40. Now, I'd been lifting heavy for maybe a year prior to that. But my first competition was almost on my 40th birthday, as a matter of fact. And I lifted natural all the way up till the age of 45. somewhere between 45 and 46. My best numbers, I had a 1410 natural total, which was good enough to take the national records for the USPA drug tested masters 40 to 44. I think my weight class was 220. It's either 198 or 220. I'd have to go look. It's funny, he knows my career better than I do. Like, I don't even know what weight class I was in or like how much I lifted at certain meets. And this guy had me all broken down. Like, it's really creepy, actually. So don't be a stalker. That's just weird. Anyway, I digress. So my best total was 1410 as a natural lifter. Now, what the chart, if you will, doesn't say is that I got really, really sick. I want to say in 2017. And I took almost 2 years off. I think I did a token competition where I just showed up and I lifted maybe an 11 or 1200 pound total. I competed just to compete and see everybody, but it was more for just to do it. Like, I wasn't trying to obtain any records or anything. So we took 2 years off from lifting. Now I came back and my first competition was last year in June. And I purchased a book about a year prior to that called HIIT in Prison, written by Bobby Forever. It was $10 on Amazon. I purchased that book. I thought it was interesting. It had some really interesting training principles that I thought maybe could help me get back into lifting shape. And I reached out to Bobby. I'd never, this was right about the time I started doing YouTube videos. And as it turns out, Bobby was on YouTube and he was willing to help me train. And we started doing video training. I created my YouTube channel. I started recording all my lifts. And that changed the way that I lift. That's when I started doing the low volume, high intensity workouts. And I would credit his training methodology way more than I would attribute or credit steroids or PED use. I think that I haven't done steroids in a year. Well, I'm still on TRT, and my numbers are still going up. They're still going up. My physique is awesome. I would attribute my diet more than anything to my physique. But now, so what are we talking about? We're talking about I came back after a 2-year hiatus. I started training with a coach, Bobby Forever. I started really blowing up my numbers, and I did use PEDs. So how much of it can be attributed to PED use and how much of it can be attributed to programming? Well, let's diagram exactly what I did PED wise. So this guy, when he made his comment, he said, oh, you're on Tren and Deca and Anadrol and all these like mountain of pharmaceuticals, and which is absolutely not true. But I did use some PEDs. So here's exactly what I did. Somewhere between the age of 45 and 46, I don't know exactly which month, I started taking testosterone. Now, I purchased this through, we'll say, means other than a doctor. So, and I was administrating it myself. And I was taking 250 milligrams a week, which is more than what the doctor recommends. So when I went to the doctor and I got tested, and he wanted me to take 150 milligrams a week. I am the one that made the decision to bump up to 250 because I was talking to some lifters that are local here that are close to my age, and they told me what they were doing. And they actually wanted me to take more. They wanted me to go to 500 a week, which is a cycle, but it's beyond anything that you're ever going to get from a doctor. So I'm taking more than I should, admittedly, 250 a week. And then about 2 months prior to the competition, which was in June, 2020, or I'm sorry, 2021, I started taking Anadrol. That was recommended to me by another weightlifter who, suggested that that was the best to get stronger. And I will say, like, Anadrol is probably the strongest steroid you can take. It's also the most toxic, and there's a lot of dangers. I've never tried Trenbolone. I know a ton of people that have used that drug, and the side effects are terrifying. Every single one of them is mentally unstable. They're not healthy. They have cardiovascular issues. It's just not something that somebody my age should ever take. I would never take Trenbolone. I've never taken Trenbolone, nor would I suggest anyone take Trenbolone. That being said, a lot of these guys swear by it. They think it's like the best thing in the world. So again, like I always suggest, talk to your doctor. I mean, I'm honest with my doctor. I've told him everything I've ever done. So here we are, 2 months out, I start taking Anadrol, 50 milligrams a day. 4 weeks before the competition, I bumped that up to 100 milligrams a day, and I bumped my testosterone up to 500 milligrams a day. That's a high amount of stuff. I went in there and I came out with what I thought was a 1480 total, but then when the records got posted, it was 1410, which is the exact number that I competed when I was natural at the age of 43, I think. So I just matched my best. I didn't do better, I didn't do worse. But I'm a couple of years older, and I'm also a lot lighter. I'm 20 pounds lighter. Anyway, that was my comeback meet. That was, just me getting started. I hadn't been training with Bobby for that long. Things were progressing well. I was really satisfied with the meet. But then something happened. John Meadows passed away. Now he's 49 years old, and he had a heart condition, but there was a debate as to how much of it was attributed to PED abuse. He'd been a bodybuilder for a very long time, and he's one of my favorite lifters. I adore John Meadows. I love his personality. I love his training methodology. I like everything about this guy. I love how honest he is. I love how supportive and friendly he is. He's so encouraging. You can't watch a John Meadows video and not walk away from it feeling encouraged to try a little bit harder. Love the guy. So John Meadows passed away, and it scared the crap out of me. Here I am, I'm taking Anadrol, I'm taking tests, and I am just basically doctoring myself. Okay, so I stopped using Anadrol completely. Went to a doctor, got my blood work done, told him what I was doing. He had me abstain for about 3 or 4 weeks because test E does take that long to get out of your system. And those 3 or 4 weeks, I was absolutely miserable. And then I got my blood work done, got a baseline, and now I'm on doctor-prescribed TRT, and he's got me on 150 milligrams a week, and that sometimes changes depending on my blood work, which I get done every single month. I get my kidneys checked, I get everything checked, vitamin deficiencies, testosterone. This guy has me dialed in. He had me on iron supplements for a while. He told me to stop taking vitamin D for a while. It turns out like I had too much. I wasn't absorbing vitamin B or something, and it was causing a whole bunch of other vitamins to not be processed by the body correctly. This guy got me dialed in. I'm at the age where things just don't work like they did when I was 20 years old. So it's imperative you get your blood work done. And I go off of that almost entirely, exclusively. Lately I've been taking vitamin K, vitamin E, what's the other one? It's something, I don't know. But basically it all has to do with the body's inability to absorb vitamin D properly, which is causing calcium problems, which causes arthritis, which the joints don't work right. It's a cascading effect, and it all goes down to your body's production or your liver function. I had to cut carbs for a while. I mean, basically, this guy's he's like an auto mechanic. He tunes you up and you make adjustments. And the last blood work I got done, everything was perfect. I'm like a 20-year-old. So now, this is the really important part, like the disinformation. You guys need to understand, steroids don't lift the weights for you. And you don't need to take that much to get the benefits. I take the very, very lowest amount possible, the lowest effective amount, efficacious, whatever the word is. I take the smallest amount necessary to produce the results that I need to train. When I was 45, I had lost motivation. I didn't want to lift anymore. I didn't want to do my hobbies anymore. I didn't want to have sex with my wife anymore. All I wanted to do was sit there and watch television. Testosterone changed the quality of my life. And you guys bag on it. You guys say, oh, it's cheating. Oh, it's bad. It's not cheating. I compete in an untested division with people that have the same advantages as I do. I don't give a crap about YouTube lifting. So, this is getting long-winded as usual. I don't have the ability to just get to the point. But I can't stress enough, guys, that you are wrong about the use of steroids. I am not anti-PED use. I think if you're working with a doctor and you're doing everything properly, you're getting your blood work done, you're doing what your doctor recommends, why wouldn't you? Why would you, if you are experiencing a lower quality of life and you're at an age and your body's not working right and you just know you can't do the things that you love anymore for whatever reason, why wouldn't you use modern medicine? There's a reason, like the Oregon Trail, everybody died of dysentery and they all married at the age of 13 because they only lived to be 40. Yeah, I'm going with Western medicine. Why wouldn't you use it? I am not anti-PED use. I don't judge anybody. I think natural lifters are freaking awesome. I love watching you guys go at it hard. But I also think that the unnatural lifters are amazing. The Larry Wheels, the Eddie Halls, the Thors, the big giant guys that are, come on. They're all on PED use. All the guys in the Olympics at the top of the game are all on PED use. All of the big powerlifters that everybody loves to watch, they're all on PED use. Are they going through doctors? Are they doing it properly? I don't know. But here's what I'm going to tell you. All of those guys are elite level athletes naturally, meaning their natural status, they were probably lifting more than we will ever lift. They were, it's genetics, man. You have to have it. Steroids will not give it to you. They will make you better, stronger, faster. But if you're not an elite level athlete to begin with, if you're not strong to begin with, or you don't have the capacity to be strong to begin with, steroids are not going to turn you into this monster that can magically break world records. It's work. It's the work in the gym. I don't care what you're on. If you don't put the work in, you're not going to get anywhere. And it's totally disingenuous to just say, oh, this guy's on steroids. That's why he lifts so much. Again, you know what? I'm not going to say I'm the hardest working guy on YouTube. I don't know. But I can tell you right now, I don't know too many people that are as psychotic as I am at working out every day, lifting the heaviest amounts of weights every day, just going ham. Am I nuts? Probably. But I love it. I love lifting. It's a passion. You know what? When these records are done, when I'm done competing, I'm going to still continue to do it just for the love of it. I might switch things up. Maybe I'll get into a different athletic sport. Maybe I'll start doing Olympic lifting. But one way or another, I'm going to have a barbell in my hands until the day I die.